All right, all right. What's up, y'all? Look at all of you beautiful people waiting in here. What's up, Gerchop? Coming coming to us live from the cell block. BV Luminous, Man Against the Masses, Vanessa Kitty, all you be look oh my god, I wanna ride, Heath Agorizer, Robert Ribbit Harrison, Chenamemba, Opie, look at man, all you guys are in here chilling, waiting. I love this, man. Couldn't be a better way to start a stream. We got a really great stream. Shooting Gallery New England is here too. What's up, brother? Chenamemba. What's crack-a-lackin'? You always Jeff Cron, what's up? Toy Town, what up? Um, all right, so we got a really special guest tonight. We're about to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll that timer and we'll get it popping. All right, so for a second, I was like, man, I can't really hear really well. And I think it's because I got my headset, I got my beanie, and then underneath, I left my, my AirPod in. I am tripping. Hold up. All right, give me a second, y'all. All right. Okay. So, ooh, as some of you may know, um, I let all you guys know we got a dope lineup for guests. Tonight we got Diesel TV. Saturday. What's up, Double X? DLD checking in. Fun times. We got Diesel TV, who's right here backstage. I can see him. You guys can't. I can. We have Saturday. We have Invader Zip coming, who is the designer of the Arc, the uh, unique thing that y'all can look up on your own if you choose. Compatible with several different types of flavors of brass and lead. We have P coming back for next Thursday. And I keep forgetting about who I had Tuesday. I had Instagram Live, and I totally. I'll have to take a look at my schedule, but we got a lot of great guests, so let's go ahead and get started. And I would like all of y'all to give a nice, warm welcome to Diesel TV.
What's
Boom.
going on? What's going on YouTube?
What's up, man? I
How's it going,
appreciate
man?
you. Good, man. How about you?
All right, man. We about had a scare, didn't we?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was like, we're gonna have to reschedule because I actually rescheduled on you 2 times.
Twice, yeah, man. I
Yeah,
thought I was gonna have to reschedule tonight, man. That I was so glad I did
y-
not have to go into work. God,
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad we were able to save it and bring it together.
right, right.
Dean, what's up, man? Kick a boogin' boy, man. I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Sport
Everybody
brand,
in the chat, how y'all doing out there? Appreciate y'all coming in and chilling with us tonight.
man. Your audio is crisp, man.
Is it really?
It's great. I'm about to ask you to email me your mic
Oh, my
info.
whole mic setup. Yeah, I can. Yeah, man. I got a little. I don't want to show you guys what's going on in this room right now because we just got over a little winter storm. And it is a disaster in here because my power went out, and this is where my fireplace is. So I spent a day and a half in here with no power, and
Oh
it's a disaster in here right now. So I can't show you guys what's going on, but
no, you're good. I'm the same way. This is like the only view
right,
of me that they
right,
ever see. Like they
right.
don't get to see. Some folks have seen some more, but I'm officially in the gun room.
Right.
Yeah. JC9, what's up? Armitage, what up? Thirsty Colt, what up?
Jeff Ron, what's going on, man?
I hate Google. And I'm not just saying I hate Google. There's a
Yeah,
user.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I hate
I
Google.
saw
That's why I keep getting hit every video. No, I'm
right.
kidding. Yeah. So Diesel TV, tell everybody, tell me, who you are, what you do, and talk about your channel, and just kind of give a general rundown.
Well, I'm Diesel TV, as you guys know. I started off doing more of like a gun channel. A lot of people don't know when I first started YouTube, I'm in law enforcement. I was in law enforcement. I've been in law enforcement for 17 years, but when I first started YouTube, I was out of law enforcement going through some personal things, waiting to get back in law enforcement. And I started YouTube as like a hobby to get my mind off of what I was going through and stuff like that. So I have a pretty nice collection of guns.
Mhm.
And I just, my daughters came to me, they was like, just show your guns off. Just show your guns off, see how it starts out. And I showed, I did my first 4 videos of a gun collection and the EDC, and it blew up. It blew from there, man. That first year I got like 6,500 subscribers and stuff like that. And
Nice.
since then I've gotten back into law enforcement. So during that time when I got back in law enforcement, I started doing ride along videos with ride alongs with Diesel. And I
Yeah.
would just show, my shift on a regular basis, what I did on the shift and all that stuff. And that's basically what my YouTube channel is. It got to do with guns, cigars, and policing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got a dope channel, man.
I
I
appreciate it.
first saw you on Shooting Gallery New England,
Right.
and I would say I think I've only had two two folks on the channel over the past year that are so one was actually like an actual like Fed,
Mhm.
and the other one was just general like law enforcement.
Right.
But you're one of the few Leos that have come on, and I appreciate that.
No,
And
no
I
problem,
think
man.
it's I think you're one of the good ones. You know?
I hope so. Because we got
Yeah.
some bad ones out there. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
hope
for
so.
sure. Yeah. Well, it's kind of interesting because and I don't know, we don't have to necessarily jump into this right now, but you were kind of accused of being a bad one,
Yeah, man.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, when I say I was out of law enforcement, it's because I was accused. It was basically they accused me of lying on my timesheet. They said I was lying on my timesheet and I was stealing time. So in a 12-month span, they said I stole 32 hours. And
that was it,
bro, when I tell you they literally went out their way, 32 hours got me 2 felonies.
dude.
I swear, and this is not even. I mean, I got all the paperwork. 32. They.
I believe
It's
you.
funny
That can
now
get petty.
because at the end of the day, I was able to beat it and everything got thrown out and all that stuff, and now I'm better off than I was then.
That's not
But
even a week.
bro, I know that was my whole point during the whole thing. Like 32 hours, like yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah,
That's nuts.
yeah,
So they charged you with two
yeah.
felonies. What and generally, what did they charge you with? Was it
Obtaining property by
larceny?
false pretense. I was because they said I was lying and I was actually not getting. I was not working the time that I was putting down on my timesheet. They and literally it was like 15 minutes here, 45 minutes here, an hour here. They had to get 12 months of 32 hours. And the only reason
What?
initially it started off with 17 felonies because they were going to charge me with every time they said I lied on my timesheet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. And then once the DA saw that was a bunch of bull, they they moved it down to 2 felonies, one for each year, because I it was the end of one year and the beginning and like into another year. It was a span of 12 months, but it was like November of one year all the way to like October of the next year. So they had to do the first year and the next year. They gave me 2 felonies for that crap.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I thought you were accused of something way worse. I mean, that is the most petty shit. Like,
I wish I could tell you that, bro. I really do, man. And the thing about it is I tell people all the time, it's like they literally had nothing else. Like as I say this all the time. Cops do stuff all the time that get themselves in trouble.
yeah,
And this is the worst thing they could find. Boy, listen, I'm good. I'm
yeah,
good.
dude. I'm. You know what? In the future, I would just make some shit up. I
Right.
mean, like, so
And
they
and and
found
you know what the thing
two
about it
bricks.
is? It was never even if they would have came to me, but it was never one of those things because I saw a house cat said they didn't want to pay you that badly, huh? It was never a hey, pay this off and we're good. Because I would have never paid it anyway because I knew what it was.
Yeah.
But they were just strictly just trying to get me out of law enforcement is what they were trying to do.
You had kind of a small team of individuals that were like targeting you, right?
Okay. So at the time, I was the assistant chief. I was second in command for a state agency, and I had an agent that was in training, and he was telling a story, and he would use derogatory language while telling that story. Well, I told
Mm,
him time and time again before, stop using that kind of language. You know what I'm saying? You never know what people's reaction is going to be to what you're saying. So
yeah,
just don't even use that language. But he kept on. The chief wouldn't do anything about it. So I went over the chief's head, and that's when they got upset.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people they don't have the right ego for a situation like that. They can't take
Right.
somebody
Right.
going over them.
Right. Right.
Damn,
So
man, that's crazy.
yeah, man.
So 17 years you've been in law enforcement.
17 years, man. Yeah. And you know, I've been so I started fighting those felonies in 2018, and a year to the day that my charges were dropped, I got another position as the chief of police at another police department. So it was almost exact year. It was very close to an exact year.
So when you were going through the um, what do you call it? Like interviewing process, breaking that news to them, saying, "Hey, like I got these felonies," and when you told them what it was for, tell me like they laughed or
Oh,
like
you
they,
know what? They were very open about it because they I told them about it, and they were like, "We already know about it, but you're still the police, so there must not be anything to it." And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty much all they said. Now after I got hired, they asked me what the story was, and I told them, and that's when they were like, You have got to be kidding me."
yeah, it's
And
crazy.
yeah, so I mean, it was yeah, so it's kind of unbelievable when you think about it, but then it's believable because I've been in this career for a long time, and I've seen some things, so
Yeah,
it's possible.
yeah. AA Outdoors, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says a few rounds in the backyard, 22 CMMG
I
kit.
know
Hell
that's
yeah.
right. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and light up if you okay with that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're good. Fresh 3D lower and a 3D can. Pew pew. Can't stop the signal. Your printer
Yeah,
should be there Monday. Oh hell yeah! Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I heard last time you was on live about all this 3D printing and all that stuff you guys are doing,
Mm-hmm.
and the P80s and all that stuff.
Yep, yep.
Um, I've never got into that.
Oh
Uh,
man, it's
well, let me give you a good reason why. And you tell me this if this is a good reason why or not.
yeah.
I can buy a Glock for $350, brand new.
The Blue Label
Yeah,
program? Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good so I used to work at a shop, and I would just be amazed that, like so I would get stuff at either cost or cost plus 12%,
right.
and, whether it was, LEO, MIL, EMS, so law enforcement, military, EMS,
First
EMT.
responders, period.
Yeah, exactly, fire, they would come in and they would be, picking up their Blue Label Glocks, and
Mhm.
I'd be like, "Hold on, like, boop, like, is this right? Like,
Right, right, yeah.
389 for a brand new Gen 417 with night sights and 3 mags, and like, let me check."
I just bought a Glock 17 MOS out the door for 510.
That's crazy. Funny thing, over the last 2 years, like, with firearms, like, pricing, availability has just been kind of crazy. And for the folks that have just gotten into it, like one of my family members, a couple of my family members kind of really, I'd say, just got into it. I think like when all the craziness was really going on,
Right,
the
right.
civil unrest and all that. And then finally, after a lifetime of them calling me crazy, they're like, man, what do you think I should get? I'm like, oh shit, dude, are you
Yeah, right,
serious?
right,
you know?
right. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, yeah.
but my brother picked up so he sent me a picture and he was like, "Let me know your thoughts." A used Glock 17 MOS and a used Glock 19 MOS. They were right next to each other. The Glock 19 MOS with night sights was $1,250.
God almighty.
Yeah, and
What?
like people were coming in buying the shit. That's the biggest
Oh,
problem.
Lord.
Is that people Buy
They
it.
keep buying it. Yeah,
I
that was the
know.
problem with ammo, which I've never had to
Exactly.
pay that much for ammo because I've always gotten an LEO price for ammo. But still, when civilians would buy ammo and they pay this high cost for it, which a lot of people don't know what the cost was because they're just getting in the, you know,
Yeah,
handguns and all that stuff.
they have nothing to compare it
But
to.
when I'm telling them like y'all are paying way too much, man. Stop buying this ammo.
Yeah.
There's no reason for them to stop selling it for that much if they're gonna keep on buying it.
I would tell people all the time, whether in person or on stream or wherever, stop buying ammo. Stop.
Right,
Like remove the. I mean, obviously, if there are things that you like absolutely need, then
right,
do your thing.
right,
You got to get
right.
what you got to get. But no, that's a good price, especially looking at
See,
like
I'm still getting cases of 9 millimeter, 124 grain. I get a case of 9 millimeter, 124 grain for 168 bucks.
the last case I bought was 179
Yeah,
shipped, and that was January of 2000. What year is it?
16 probably
2016?
17,
It
17
was
or
it was
16.
right between 19 and 20. It was, like, right before shit started going
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
I got super lucky and, 'cause I mean, I used to shoot, like,
Right,
every weekend, every other weekend, and, I just stopped buying. I basically stopped shooting, I haven't been shooting for real in, God, twice in the last year and a half, something like
right.
that.
Yeah,
I
see,
mean, I
I
still.
can't stop shooting. I can't stop. I have to keep on going.
Yeah. You got a qual, what,
Yeah.
quarterly?
No, well, state regulation says once a year. My
Okay,
department, we do it twice a year.
gotcha.
So, but we it's kind of hard, man, because with I'm a chief of a small department,
Yeah, that's right,
so
you're chief of police now.
right, right.
Yeah,
So it's me, but I have 8 full-time positions, right? And 5 part-time positions. Well, we have 2 open positions with 3 officers out sick.
mm,
So when you're talking about not being fully staffed, and then if you are fully staffed, you got people sick.
yeah,
Man, it's hard, man. That's why I almost had to come into work tonight because it's like
yeah,
I don't really have nobody else to work other than the person that just got finished working 4 days in a row.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
so
damn, that's crazy. Um, I will say, I saw that video of you running that UMP like a champ.
well,
Controlled single round, um, controlled, what, 2 rounds,
well,
then a
UMP ain't
mag down.
UMP is not hard to do a single round on a full auto. It's
Yeah,
really not. That's kind of one of the easy ones. But
yeah,
I did 4 years of I did 6 years of cert. 2 of those years was a cert commander. Well, people call it SWAT, but we
yeah,
call it cert here. But I was a 2 year cert commander and I did 4 years of cert. And one of my guns was an MP5, and then I had an M4. Also, I carried the M4 majority of the time, but I did have an MP5 as well.
nice.
So
So, did you ever run, the UMP like that, or is it just kinda your familiarity with the HK platform?
it, you know, I think it's more of just shooting fully auto so much.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's and then UMP, the rate of fire is not as high as a MP5 or some a lot of M4s run real fast.
yeah,
So I mean, it just depends. Like I know a H&K UMP 45. I think that was a 45. I think it was. The rate of fire is a lot slower than the MP5 and some of the M4s I ran. So I know you
yeah,
just tap the trigger, it'll do it once. And then once I saw how fast that rate of fire was, hitting that double hit, that wasn't hard at all. So
yeah. It was cool though, man. You ran it like a champ. My boy's got a, full auto UMP and M16, or,
right,
us civilians over here, we gotta get pre-86 full
right, right, right,
autos,
right, 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 right,
And, he basically just took it, stripped the lower and
mhm.
then built up like a nice, like, modern, um
Okay,
gun around it. So he's got that. He's got a Mac, but the Mac he put a Lage upper on, so that's kind of more like modern as well, kind of like a
right,
small PDW. And
right,
those are fun machine guns. But aside from that, and then working at the gun shop, I didn't have like a lot of access. well, I guess both of those gave me a lot of access to machine guns, but,
Right.
it was cool, man.
And I mean, really, truthfully speaking, there's no reason to have fully auto. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
not in the situations in the type of work that we're doing. There's no reason. Military, yes, but law
yeah.
enforcement, there is no reason for law enforcement to have anything fully auto.
Yeah, the
Um,
only situation I could think of is, like, to keep heads down, cover fire,
right,
kinda like,
right, because all it is a pray and spray. That's where it comes from.
yeah,
I mean, you just pray and spray with the fully automatic, and hopefully it'll keep them down or hit somebody. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
if you're semi-automatic and you're just pulling that one trigger pull for one fire, you shouldn't be praying and spraying.
yeah,
You know?
yeah, and, I mean, one of the, let's see if I got one of my stickers here, hold up, um, number
Said
4.
my my guns are all stuck on full auto. That's hilarious. That's pretty funny.
Nice. Number 4, be sure of your target and what is
It wa
beyond it. It's like,
exactly
how many accidents happen from people just being foolish with, guns
right,
or not
right.
knowing the type of, machine they have in their hands. Shooting Gallery New England says the last case he bought was $500. Damn.
My man. Well, you know where he's at. He's gonna be paying overpriced because
Oh, yeah.
he's up
The
there with the rich folk.
I
So
guess, out there that I could imagine at one point, like, serializing ammunition, that's how far they would take gun control in certain places.
yeah, you know how much work that would put on the ATF if they were to do that.
Oh my god.
It, I think that's one of the main reasons why they won't.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just way too much work. There
Yeah.
is no way. And then
Even
even if you serialize the ammunition, it's still you're still gonna have to trace what gun it came out of.
yeah, yeah,
So the matching up the scars and all that stuff is still gonna have to happen to make sure it came out of that weapon.
yeah,
So really, there's really no need to do it. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Yeah, I don't think it would truly. I one of the things that we say because and actually this would be good to kind of get back on like the P80 thing you mentioned is there's number one, there's no way to stop evil, right? Like we
right,
know that
right.
no matter what, ban all guns, make them disappear with a magic wand, and somebody with $3 and a can of gas could do terrible things,
Well,
or
there is one mass killing that happened that still all the mass shootings together don't even equate to the how many lives that took, and that was that bomb, Oklahoma City bombing.
yeah,
I
and
mean, and still, and I mean, well, I haven't looked up the numbers since like 2000. I think it was 17 or 18, because I having this argument with one of my friends. Well, not, and it was an acquaintance, and they were saying about the gun ban and all that stuff, and I was like, even if you do it, you still have one mass killing. That still, all these mass shootings do not equate to that one mass killing.
yeah.
So I
And he
mean,
did it with something legal that
yes,
anybody could purchase,
anybody can
ammonium
purchase.
nitrate. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So it's one of those things that and a lot of people take this wrong when I say it, but I would rather have these guns out here because people tend to be lazy. Tend to find the easy way out to
mhm,
do what they want to do. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And a lot of people think a gun is the easy way out. I'd rather somebody that is hell bent on killing somebody to have a gun than a truck full of some
Oh, hell
ammonium
yeah.
nitrate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just hands
Yeah,
down when it comes down to it.
for sure. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And there's I mean, there's there's a couple ways, but it wouldn't exactly be moral. But there's really no way to. I would take the dangers of freedom over the security and safety of any protections that
Right,
the government would offer. And I think that there is no way to stop evil, and I think there's also no way to stop the signal, right? There's no way to stop the creation of firearms. There's no way to
right,
stop the creation of explosives. There's no way to
right.
stop information and skills. So no matter what legislation may come, and no matter what things in the world may change, I will always be able to build modern firearms,
Right.
and that's kind of a
Legal or illegally, you can still do it. I mean, it's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
the thing. They're not going to be able to stop it, and that's my biggest concern when it comes down to um, the whole conversation is that once you take my ability to do it legally, you're forcing me to do it illegally because there's always going to be somebody out there that's going to have a weapon.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And if you're not giving me the ability to fight fire with fire, then I'm going to find my own way to fight fire with fire.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Black Diamond Guns Gear, what's up, brother? Zippy, what up? You fight criminals with guns. Yeah, no, that's true. By training citizens to use and respect guns, but no fear. Sorry, I missed a little bit of that. No fear and jackbooted thugs. Uh, dismantle the ATF. Yeah, they're out of completely out of like I can't even put
I
it
got a
into
lot of
words.
buddies in the ATF, and you can't. I don't blame what they're doing on the actual agents. I blame it on command staff. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
for
Because it's
sure.
one of
Yeah.
those things. It's like you'll find a street ATF guy, and I call him a street guy. It's one of the field ops,
Hmm.
and personally, they don't feel nowhere near what the command staff is making them do. But for them to be able to feed their family, you know what I'm saying? They have to do certain things. Then you have command staff that are trying to look at people that believe the same thing that they believe. That's the problem.
So do
Why
you
do you have
see
somebody that is anti-gun in an agency that deals with guns?
regulates firearms? Yeah, it's
That
crazy.
is crazy as heck to me.
And I definitely don't see them regulating alcohol or tobacco, or I
Right.
mean, obviously explosives and firearms are the primary focus for them. Funny enough, when I was a kid, I was probably I don't know, 14, 15. There was an ATF agent, a field agent at my church, and I went shooting like my first like because my dad had a gun. We kind of grew up like the people in my general geographic area were all hunters, all gun dudes, all. But my family really wasn't. It was like the forbidden fruit. Like,
Mhm.
we got a gun, but don't touch it, don't look at it, don't.
Right,
So
right,
of
right,
course I snuck and touched it and all that stuff.
right,
Um, but when I was like, young teens, my church was going shooting, and they invited children, like kids my age and adults, and I actually got to shoot an MP5, an AR with 3 round burst.
right.
Got to shoot a bunch of cool
It's
shit.
16.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I mean, it was cool. Like it totally like opened my world because I was already in love with firearms, but
Right.
being able to, I mean, just like get that gas in the face with 3 rounds of 5.56, like as a kid, it was like,
Oh
whoa,
yeah.
okay, like this is dope. Common courtesy, what's up, man? How's it going? Um, so, but yeah, sorry. So getting back on topic, I think that kind of brought me to where I am now, which is like no matter what, I'm always going to be able to build, provided that I have the tools and I have the items.
Right.
There's just something when you build a firearm yourself from an 80% receiver or a completely privately manufactured firearm, like
Right.
from sheet metal, like I mean, I'm not that skilled, right?
Right.
But
Right.
like
Right.
I can do the 80 percenters. But there's something that's just super special about just putting the work in and building a Glock. I would highly encourage that you do it. It would
I
also
do.
give you
I built a lot of all of my ARs that I've built for the last 8, 9 years have been built. I fully built them.
nice.
And I get what you're saying, yes, because I love every AR that I've built. I love it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But as far as the P80, it's just one of those things. It's like, man, uh, I can build that same gun for a lot cheaper.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, that's just where I'm at with it. the reason why I got into building AR is because it was a lot cheaper to just build them. You
Yeah,
know, back
for
you
sure.
know, when I started building them. But now, it's one of those things you can probably find. Shoot, Palmetto State Army find a good AR for just as much as you can build it for.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
and
saying? So it might not be like that now, but when I first started building ARs, that's what it was.
yeah,
You know, if I get to a point where I come across a lot of money and I just want to, go into building, I would build a 1911 first. That's I
mhm,
mean, 1911 is my hands down my favorite platform.
nice.
So I would know and I would want to know the ins and out of a 1911. Now, Glock, I'm a certified Glock armor,
Mhm.
firearms instructor, all that stuff. So Glocks hands down, I can build that in and out, no problem.
Oh,
I just
then
want to learn how to
you definitely gotta do a P80 Glock then. You'll have a blast with it, man. Cause like, I took, Glock Armor's course as well,
Mhm.
and that I mean, and it Glocks are relatively simple firearms, and,
Relatively. It's like reading a kindergarten book or something. It's like
yeah.
it's easy.
They're the Legos of the,
Right.
firearm world. And even, even ARs, it's just like assembly, right?
Right.
But it's cool though, because going through and doing that, you're like, all right, I'm learning the gas system. I'm learning,
Right.
about dwell time. I'm learning about head spacing. I'm learning about like, you know, I remember the first time I put together an AR, I was like, what's a torque wrench?
Right.
Like,
Right.
you know,
Yeah, yeah.
like I'm like, this is probably
Not
45
right.
pounds,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. But
I
see the thing about building is if the gun malfunctions, you know exactly how to break it down, find out
yeah,
what's wrong with it, and fix it.
yeah,
And that's I mean, I do like that about, building my own stuff. That's why I wanna build a 1911 because 1911s have so many different parts to them.
yeah.
And I heard they were very complicated to build.
Definitely way more complicated to build. And I would say, if you ever like, let's say you were like, you know what, I am gonna build from an 80% receiver,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna do an 80% 1911. That it's definitely one of the more, like, difficult,
Right,
platforms to
right.
build. Um, the way it works is you have a jig, and the jig has, screws that you screw in, so when you, put the frame inside, you screw in, um, the screws on the outside, and a tiny little piece of hardened steel comes out, and you run it back and forth on it to cut like small shavings off of it, and then you torque it down again and do it again, and you're literally hand cutting the rails of the 1911.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you watch
Wow,
some of the videos, I mean, you turn it like a 16th of an inch, and then like old credit card machine, back and forth,
wow,
and then you turn it another like 16th of an inch, an eighth of an inch, and you keep cranking it down, and the hardened steel removes from, like, let's say it's an aluminum frame. You can do steel too, but
wow.
it's pretty intense. But once you go through that process, you fall in love with it. You're like, dude,
Right,
I would never. But here's where the issue comes in, and I think part of it's kind of been like ingrained in like, so I'm speaking from like the civvy general populace, right?
right.
um when you watch like Red Dawn, as a kid, you see them say like, well, go to the gun store and get the 4473s and see who has guns, and we'll round them up first. And that's kind of like the thought process
Mhm.
of like, you know I'm going to build from 80% receivers, so I have stuff that is completely personal. It's mine. It's off the books, and
Right, right.
I'm gonna be legal. Moral. I'm of sane, sound body and mind and soul and all that.
So you
But
say.
yeah, right. Yeah. And if anything ever happens to me, guys, it was the Clintons. No, I'm playing. Um, but I think, I mean, it's fear of government,
Oh, yeah, of
sometimes
course.
fear
I
of
mean,
law
yeah.
enforcement.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, I've been in, like I said, I've been in law enforcement for so long, but I still find myself like nervous about my gun collection because I have so many of them. And it's
Mm,
like, God, I got so much money in these guns. What if they did come and get my guns?
yeah.
Like, what would I do?
Man,
I mean, I have a lot of people ask me, am I going to be the type of cop that goes and gets people guns and stuff like that? That is nothing that is anywhere in my realm of thought being a local police officer. We have a hard time helping with a daggone narcotic search warrant when the feds come around, let alone trying to go round up somebody's guns. Like, why would we march to somebody's door and ask them to hand over their guns? What? Like, no, I'm not. I would never
yeah.
put my guys in that kind of danger. Never.
So that and okay, so that's an interesting thing to hear because you know, hearing from a lot of the talking heads, right? The elected sheriffs and places that are not firearm friendly.
Right.
Um, None of them talk about their guys and putting their guys in danger and the amount of risk there is kicking in any door, let alone a confirmed firearm owner.
This is the thing that really blows my mind when it comes to law enforcement and how they speak about this stuff. You would just think about this concept. Letting an outside entity come into your home, start a war, and then leave you there to take care of the war. Because that's
Mm,
essentially what's happening. You have a federal government coming into your neighborhood, your community, taking a whole bunch of guns, pissing people off, and then they're gone the next day. Who has to
yeah,
deal with it?
yeah,
The local police officers have to deal with it. Why would I put my guys in that kind of danger?
damn,
Because nobody has to deal with the aftermath other than them. And if even if they do take all the guns, there's still other things that my guys can be hurt with.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like nah, man, that heck no.
So at the risk of losing livelihood, income, food on the table, your your job, all that.
I wouldn't be able to put food on the table if I lose my life.
Okay, I like that.
I mean,
Damn.
really, when it comes down to it, because ultimately, what could come down to is an officer losing his life, and I'm not willing to risk that just because if it's something that you need to get, you need to go get it. My guys don't need to go with you, or they don't need to do it for you. Period.
Safety Doc gave you a shout out and he said this is a great point by Diesel TV.
Appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah, Safety Doc has a great channel as well. Just check him out.
Okay, yeah, I'll check them out.
Armitage too. Dead dudes don't get paychecks. Ain't that
Right,
the truth? Yeah,
right.
that's kind of refreshing to hear you say that, man. There's out near me in Virginia, there there is a sheriff in Culpeper, Virginia,
Hmm.
and he got kind of famous in the beginning when like the whole election was going on and Beto was going to be the guy and all that drama was going on
Right.
saying we are going to do this. We are going to come take everything and blah blah blah. He straight up said nope, and he was very public about it. He got interviewed about it. He went and spoke with the what do you call them, like the meetings where
Yeah.
like the I guess kind of town hall type
Right.
stuff, and
Right.
he was on national news saying the same kind of thing. Like I refuse to take any orders like that, and we
I have
will.
not spoken to a chief yet that said they are willing to take somebody's guns. I haven't.
Damn.
Have
Yeah,
not.
he said, "I will deputize every single person in my county if I have to."
Good
Like,
God.
yeah, he's
He
going
gonna get some
ham.
votes. He gonna
Yeah,
get some votes, buddy.
yeah. Um, that's crazy though. That I mean, that's good to hear because the first thing you think of is like following orders, right? Like I'm just doing my job.
And see,
And
that's why I say what I say when it comes to there's always a line. You know what I'm saying? There's always a line. And a lot of the guys that I've talked to with the ATF, there is a line. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Right now, it's not as bad as some people say. Now there are different stories out there. You always have that overzealous officer or agent, you know what I'm saying? And they make the whole squad look bad, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
majority of the ATF guys that I've talked to are not like what most people think. Now, the upper
Yeah.
echelon, that's way above my pay grade. I don't conversate with them or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I can tell you the ones that I have worked with and the ones that I talk to are nothing like what public think they are. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, um,
Yeah. And I could definitely see that, and I do think that there's a couple things, and I'll go on record saying this because there's a lot of people that have come to me and said like, how could you ever say that you're about freedom? How could you ever say that you're about liberty and independence and be pro police? And I've gotten in a debate about it, and I was like, well, tell me more about that. Like, what do you
right.
mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
And they said, so the corruption is with the politicians, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if the politicians are all corrupt, the only thing that stands between the general populace and the politicians are the police, whatever that may be. If it's local police,
Right.
federal, whatever,
Right.
we'll just call it law enforcement to some capacity, and that those law enforcement officers are daily encroaching on our constitutional rights, and this is their perspective that they share
Right.
with me, um, saying that is so any limitation on my natural rights to protect myself. If I want a machine gun, I get a machine gun, or whatever. If I want a silencer, build a silencer. Or what I mean, I think there's an extreme view of it, and then
Right.
there's a more reasonable view of it.
Right.
And I think that I could put myself in the perspective of kind of being stuck in between those two places. But we got to realize that these guys are just dudes, right?
And
Like, they're just dudes.
and
Most
I
of them
say
are
this, I
gun
say that
dudes.
all the time. You you watch these YouTube videos of officers infringing on somebody's rights and stuff like that, and majority of the time you go away from the video thinking that officer didn't know nothing. He just didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
It's not the fact that he's just trying to infringe on your rights. He just does not know. And it
yeah,
might be because of training or something like that, but just like the regular public, there are some things the regular public don't know. Law enforcement is not an all know to be. You know what I'm saying? Like when it comes to me, um, I've worked majority of my years in law enforcement has been in narcotics. I did 12 years of narcotics. I was a
man,
narcotics detective. I did 6 years of deep undercover. And when I say deep undercover, it is not no, what you see in the movies. It's just I went in and that's all I focused on was doing undercover. It wasn't
yeah,
no 1 year stint and then I had to go and protective custody. None of that crap.
mhm.
That's all on TV.
Was it
So
mostly heroin? Was it mostly dope?
no, I worked mainly with cocaine.
Oh, damn,
Okay, yeah,
okay.
I did a lot of I was with Homeland Security, so we did a lot of the cartel stuff going on.
No shit.
Yeah. So but I did a lot of that. So when it comes down to it, I've never done an investigation on a sex crime.
Mm,
So I'm not going to know anything about that. But another officer might. So there are a lot of things that officers just don't know. And even though they make a mistake, and we all know egos get in the way of being able to say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake,
yeah,
especially when you're the police. And as we all know, a lot of these police were kids in school that were not popular. You know what I'm saying? So
maybe
there were
not
some
paying
things that
attention.
happened in school, and they got this badge and this gun now. That now they think they the man. So it's
Yeah,
one of those. It just grows from that. So a lot of people have to understand that there is a human factor to everything. Justice
yeah.
system is a great system. It's only flawed because it's ran by humans.
You
You know
know
what I'm saying?
what?
Like
Yeah, that's the
law
one
enforcement is a
unpredictable
great,
thing.
great system. It's flawed because it's ran by humans.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the concept of it is good. It's just you got the wrong people. You got people doing it that just are just not good people sometimes.
yeah. Do you think that the crookedness of politics? Do you think the crookedness of you know big companies, whether it's pharma, tech, or whatever? Do you think that trickles down into what law enforcement does and doesn't
Oh
do at times?
yes, heck yeah. And the thing about it is, law enforcement is probably one of the biggest political jobs you could have that doesn't necessarily deal with politics. You get what I'm saying?
Mm,
Because law enforcement is a reflection on the government. So when law enforcement, like let's say law enforcement does something bad, it looks bad on the politicians as well.
mm.
So
Like the
that
local
trickles down.
politicians.
Yeah, that trickles down all the way. I mean, it's just, I mean, just the time I've been a chief, I've seen how political it is. I mean, it's very political.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I wish law enforcement could just be what it is, law enforcement, and then it's left as law enforcement. Um,
yeah.
and that's it. But it's 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 not like that.
Yeah, I think, like I mentioned earlier about freedom, right, being dangerous. I think that most people we've kind of been programmed into like a world of consumerism
Yep,
and comfort and getting whatever we need and whatever we want right away,
yep,
deliver the next day, same day, whatever. And they fall into this world where they're kind of blinded of real threats, real risks, and a lot of them have never been a victim, so they don't know what it feels like to be powerless or
yep.
um, and I would take the dangers of freedom every single day, and part of me thinks that police um, should respond to things that deal more with safety as opposed to you know uh, like traffic laws. Well, I guess traffic is there's an
Right,
element of safety with that
right,
too,
right,
but
right.
um, I don't know. I definitely don't have the answer. I'm
I don't either. I
yeah.
don't either. I mean, a lot of people have their opinions about what law enforcement should be and shouldn't be. I feel that those same people call law enforcement when they want them. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
for
But that's the
sure.
only time they want them around is when they call them.
Dude,
You know,
I've literally seen it where these fools were at a defund the police, BLM riot, and all that. And the first thing you heard when a shop owner drew a gun, when they were literally about to Molotov his livelihood, he came out and he drew a gun and he was like, back up. Because, I mean, I mean, anything like that, when you are in a shop and they are about to torch it, that is fear of, grievous
hmm
bodily harm or death.
hmm
And he drew down on a large crowd, which made me a little nervous, but he drew down on a large crowd, and you know what all of them started saying?
call the
Call the
police.
police. Call
Yep,
the police.
yep.
Like, you soft ass bitches. Like, you're literally you are wearing a sign that says defund the police, and
Right.
it's
Yeah,
it's like it's
yeah.
the same level of, like, ridiculousness where you see, there's the video of that dude that was in the riot that got, like, a scrape on his leg,
hmm
and somebody applied a tourniquet. Oh
Yeah,
my god, and they
yeah. That
did
was
it.
Antifa, wasn't
Yeah, yeah, and they did it, like, on the wound. Oh my
it?
god, and she's like, "It's supposed to hurt." It's like, dude, you've never done a stop the bleed class. You've never
Right.
done
Yeah, you
he's
have
not
no
even
idea.
leaking. He's just, like,
Right.
barely bleeding,
Right.
and,
Yeah.
man, that shit was so funny, but, these are the same people that, go home and, order their Amazon Prime and their,
hmm
Netflix, and they're living in a world of comfort, and, I don't
Yep.
know, it's just crazy to see that shit where they're literally saying, Remove the police," and I'll say this too, 'cause I find it kinda interesting. The same person that I was talking to that was saying, like, the police are the only thing that are between the general populace and the politicians, and the
Right.
politicians are, creating and, this, whether it's legislation or even just an opinion letter from the ATF,
Right.
um, they're enforcing these unconstitutional laws. And, um should I just and they had said, we need to defund the police. We need to remove the police. And I said, okay, well, like, let's develop that a little bit. Like, what would that look like? It's like, well, freedom is dangerous, and if I get in a situation, I got to protect myself. If an old lady gets in a situation, then the community's got to protect her. I said, okay, well, so there would be some element like the community would come together. He's like, yeah. Would they form something? Yeah, it would be like,
A police department.
community. Exactly. I'm like, hey, we walked through this whole thing
Right,
and he
right.
recreated
A police
police.
department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
Somebody there has to be somebody there to bring some kind of justice. That's the
Yeah.
thing about that's what the whole thing about police is supposed to be. There has to be you have to be brought in front of a court to be judged by your peers if something were to happen, to see if you was right or wrong. That's what it really comes down to. And a lot of people forget about that stage. I think
Yeah.
that's I think that's I think that's the biggest problem when it comes down to a lot of the situations that we've had is people don't want to let it run its course. They forget about that stage of the justice system and things. They want it right then and there,
Yeah.
but you can't have it right then and there in a society like ours. You can't do that.
Well, how many times, do you hear about in history where, you know, somebody and this happened, what was it? In Florida, the famous event in Florida. I'm drawing a blank on what it's called, but where the black dude smashed this chick, and she ended up saying that she was raped, and
Oh,
they ended up going on a huge manhunt.
yeah. Oh,
They hung the wrong dude,
yeah.
and then they literally went around like just literally just like lynching
Right,
black dudes that just looked like him. It's like
right,
that instant justice that shit don't work.
right.
Somebody mentioned that common courtesy had a great question. Hold on. Um,
Ron
and
Wayne asked a question too. What's my duty pistol? It's a Glock 23 duty pistol.
okay, 40 cal. That's interesting.
Yeah, we're still with the 40s. I'm trying to switch them to nines this year. So
Nice. Yeah, we where I'm at, they used to rock 40s. They had uh 40 cal HKUSPs, then
ooh,
they moved to the 40 cal P30s, and then now they're all rocking Glock 17s and 19s.
right.
And I
Yeah,
actually spoke to a female police officer, and I was like, "Oh, is that we were talking guns?" And I was like, "Is that a 17?" She's like, "No, it's actually a 19." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I thought our county was issued 17s." They said, "No, for smaller hands and
yep,
for females, they'll give
yep,
a
yep,
19."
yep,
I was like, "Damn, y'all got
yep.
options
Oh
nowadays?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where the 45 the gap came from. The
Yeah.
45 gap. That's why they made the gap for smaller hands for law enforcement.
You know how many people have no idea about the
Oh yeah,
45
yeah,
GAP?
yep.
Oh, I didn't even realize that. I'm so sorry, y'all. Hold on, let me go back. Oh no, I
I
didn't.
think we missed a lot of questions, bro. Tell you the
Yeah,
truth.
man, I know
Tell you the
it's
truth.
it's hard when I easily get lost in the conversation. And
Right.
I'm sorry, chat. I love y'all. Um, Detective John Kimball asks, ask him if he enforces unconstitutional gun laws.
What gun laws are unconstitutional?
Well, I think most people would say all of them. I think
Uh,
that's one of the challenges. Not to give you or any law enforcement any excuses, but I think that like I follow the firearm laws of my state, right? I follow federal firearm laws. Um, I think all of them are an infringement. And common courtesy, I will come right back to. But yeah, so my bad. I'll let you answer the question.
so okay, so this is the thing when it comes down to it. We don't law enforcement, local law enforcement, we don't go out looking for fully automatic guns that you don't have a license for and stuff like that. Usually that comes on our radar when people start going on YouTube or Facebook or robbing stores with them, stuff like that. All that other stuff comes, that's usually when we go looking for it is usually when ATF comes to us and say, "Hey, we got a report on this. It was an illegal gun, and this is what it is, and we want it off our streets." That's when we would go get it. So when you're saying enforcing unconstitutional gun laws, there's a little bit connected to that unconstitutional gun law. You know what I'm saying? There's some kind of illegal activity with it. I know I've heard 3 or 4 stories of people having, you know, pre-banned fully automatic guns that came over from the war and never got them taken because nobody knew they had them.
Mm,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So it's one of those things is if you put it out there, you got it, or if you're doing something with it that you shouldn't be doing, then it could be a problem.
yeah,
But as far as us just going, trying to figure out who has what, like that's not a thing that I've ever seen in my career.
yeah. Shooting Gallery, New England. What was the first firearm you guys bought when I think he meant you got into guns?
First one I bought was a Kimber TLR,
Mm, nice.
1911. Yep.
TLR or TLR2?
TLR2. Yeah. I bought the
TLR2?
LAPD SWAT team TLR2. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. That's so you are a 1911 fanboy.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah. I love 1911s.
Yeah. So my first legal firearm that I purchased, I did so at a younger age. I was an addict. Got over 11 years clean, and
Nice, man. That's what's up.
thank you. Used to be a big dirtbag, and I had uh, I think my first firearm that like I had. Was a single shot 22 lever action, and it was dope because it kicked the cartridge out. It had an ejector system, so when you open the lever, the round came out. You could just drop a new one in,
Oh,
close it,
wow.
fire it. It was pretty cool. And then I got a Taurus Tracker 7 shot 357 Magnum, and though I never carried it or fired it or anything, a high point 40 cal and sold it. My
Nothing wrong
first,
with a high point, man.
yeah, I heard they work usually.
Man, I'm telling you, a lot of people don't get it, but I mean, when you're getting your information from the streets that don't know about guns, you're gonna get some bad information. Because I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I've taken a lot of high points off the streets, and I would say 90% of them had the wrong ammunition in them.
What?
Yeah, that's why they jam. Every single high point that I got that had been involved in a shooting and it jammed was because it had the wrong ammunition in it. Every single one of them.
Damn.
And 90% of them that I took off the streets, shot or not shot, had different. I had one that had 3 different calibers in the magazine.
What?
Yeah, yeah.
What are they
That's
putting like 9 millimeter Makarov and 380 and a 9 mil?
yeah, they'll put
Or
380, they'll put in a 40, they'll put 380. I mean, they'll put 9, they'll try to put a 45 in there. They One guy fit a 45 in a 40 magazine.
what?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I heard they work. I will say when I turned 21, my first legal pistol, and I say it is my first legal pistol because it was my first one that I bought from a gun shop.
Right.
Um, but it was a 1911. It was a Springfield mil spec with the compensator.
Nice.
It had stainless controls, but it was a parkerized frame and had pearl grips on it. Magwell. It was Gucci'd out, but I just could not carry that thing at all. It was huge.
Yeah,
My
I mean,
first long gun was, a Wasser 10 AK, and then I got a Remington 870.
my first long gun was a DPMS AR-15.
Nice.
Yeah, that was my first AR and my first long gun. But I tell people a lot of times, man, if your first gun needs to be a multi-function gun, something that you can carry on you for concealed home defense if you want to light on it, because my 1911 didn't have a rail on it. It was the 1911 that didn't have the rail on it.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't put a light on it. It was full sized. I couldn't carry it. It was uncomfortable to carry. I carried it all the time, but it was just uncomfortable to do it.
Did it
And
work? Did it work
man,
well?
oh yeah,
My
1911.
TLR2, I picked up one too. I just I couldn't get it. I don't know if
You
I
must have got it before you. So I got mine back in 2004 or five, somewhere around there.
I think mine was probably like probably like early 2010s, so like
Okay.
12 to
Yeah, Imma tell
12
you,
maybe.
Kimber is not like it used to be. It's nothing like it used to be. I
Mm,
still like them, but they're nothing like they used to be.
yeah. I was just getting stovepipes. I've never slapped as many stovepipes out of a firearm than
Really?
with that gun. I mean, and I could always get it back in the battery real quick because I get a stovepipe, slap it out, and it would feed the next round in. And but
You know what I've learned the reason for a lot of stovepipes
what's that?
and squib loads is, if you're cleaning your magazines with the, gun bore cleaner
Mm.
and it gets on the ammunition, it'll eat through that casing and get into your powder, and then
Oh,
it'll make it squib load or it'll make it misfire.
like if you're using like solvent
Yep.
to clean your
If
magazine.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're using solvent to clean your magazine, if that solvent gets on your ammunition, it'll eat through that casing. That's what it's made to do. A lot
Damn.
of people don't know. That's why I don't clean my magazines with solvent. I just wipe them down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean most mags you should be able to just wipe down even like
Right.
on like the dirtiest, like when I run like my suppressors on my guns and stuff, like that gets so much carbon buildup and stuff back
Right.
there. Like I'll just wipe it down. Paper towels are one of the best
Yes.
gun cleaning
It'll let you
solutions.
know if you still got dirt on it.
Yep, yep. And
Yeah.
next to Aegis Gun Care, which is great product. Common Courtesy says, DLD, I have a question. What's the police department's contingency plan for if we get invaded by a foreign country?
There is no contingency plan. That's not even something we discussed.
I figured that
And
would
the and
be
but see
the answer.
a lot of people don't understand that when you're talking about demilitarizing of law enforcement is your local military when something like that is to happen. I
Yeah,
mean, and just like you know, if you have a mass shooting or anything like that, law enforcement is going to go. So it's not a contingency plan we need to have for that. It's just you do your job. You know, if
yeah,
we get invaded, you do your job. You know,
yeah. I
so
think, man, I could just picture panic, like civilians going out with their guns, like let's call them friendly civilians,
right.
and law enforcement, maybe National Guard, and not knowing who's friendly, not knowing who's good or who's bad, and just people, just like all sorts of chaos and mayhem. And man, that would be a disaster. Uh, but unfortunately, I kind of had an idea that the response would be like, that's not something that we talk about.
I mean, it's not. I mean, if we get a report that somebody's shooting, we go. I mean, it has nothing to do with a foreign country or anything like that. If there's a report of somebody shooting, then we go. And if it came to where the news was saying that there was a foreign, you know, something coming to our waters or shores or something like that, and they
Yeah,
wanted all law enforcement to respond, I'm pretty sure we would go. It wouldn't be a question. I mean, that's
yeah,
just that's just what we've called to do. So
yeah. Chuck Norris Gun Club says, question, my local police got defunded $1.5 million. Damn.
yeah.
And now they don't even care. Good luck when the cops show up. They won't do nothing, which is a double negative, Chuck Norris Gun Club, but I know what you're saying. Um, I,
English class.
I think it kind of depends on the area that you're in,
Yeah, I mean,
and
because we're getting more money. We're
oh
we're
really?
actually getting more money. Yeah, it's I'm with a small town. No, there's no question about it. But we're losing guys because everybody around us is paying more money. So they're actually upping my budget now
Mm.
because of that, and getting more equipment, stuff like that we need for the police department. You don't have that big of a problem here in the South, um,
What state are you in?
North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I know there are some departments that got defunded, and now like a year later they are regretting it like heavily,
Yeah.
especially on the West Coast, Northwest. They are really, really hating it.
I could not even imagine that like that would be like I could not believe what I was seeing on TV even over the last like year and a half, man. It's
Yeah,
been crazy.
Yeah.
The world is focused on all the wrong things and all the wrong evils, and
Well,
they're just
when you
programmed.
focus on a see the thing about it is when you focus on a small percentage of a wrong and you don't focus on the bigger percentages of right, then you're going to make a wrong decision
Yeah,
because only thing that that one wrong decision that police officer made, I can guarantee you that one bad encounter that police officer made, there are millions of good encounters throughout the United States that happen with police officers.
yeah,
You know what
I
I'm
agree.
saying? So
Yeah, and
you're
they're
focusing on this
actually
one. Go ahead.
yeah. Oh no, go ahead, go ahead. You're good.
You're focusing on this one when you're not even considering all the other good, you know, things that happen with police. So I mean, it's just one of those things where we people just got caught up in that one thing the media wants to put out there.
Yeah, yeah, and I think and Chuck Norris Gun Club. I was just poking fun at you, brother. Um, I think what you focus on expands, right?
Oh yeah,
And there were that prior year to the whole, Floyd incident. There were everyone was raging over 13 unarmed minorities that were killed.
right.
So they rioted, which resulted in an additional 34 minorities being killed.
Hmm.
And there were, I think it was what, 350 million interactions with law enforcement and civilians, and 13 unarmed minorities were killed.
Right.
That's pretty good odds.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what really, you know what really touched base with me one day is, um, during the rioting and everything, my guys are working, um,
Did
and
you guys experience rioting
oh
where
yeah,
you were?
oh yeah, oh yeah, we a lot of it.
Damn.
And so we're working, and one of the white officers walks up to one of the rioters and says, "Hey, listen, we're here. We want to talk." The rioter is a black, female. We're here to talk. Anything you want to do? The black female starts by saying, "Yes, we do need to talk." And you see a white female walk out of nowhere and say, "We don't talk to the police." And I'm like, how is it that the black community is out to riot? I mean, to protest
Mhm.
because the communication between law enforcement isn't right, but you have a white person telling them that they don't talk to the police.
Yep.
And that is
This is
is the problem is you have too many followers.
Yep.
I mean, and when that happened, I was just like, man, they don't. I mean, they're not doing it because they want a change. They're not. There's no protest because I'm not gonna say they don't want any change. I'm not gonna say that. What I'm saying is that it's happening, and they're not willing to actually sit down and really think about what they want.
I think most of the people that engaged in those in the riots were just looking for something to be mad at. They were looking for something to rage at.
Yep.
They may have thought they were protesting injustice, but
Well, I'm gonna
they're
tell you right now, everybody that was involved in the riots were there just to riot. The
yeah,
protesters were there for something different.
yeah,
The rioters were there just to try to get something, to try to, you know, hurt somebody, hurt some kind of property or something like that.
yeah.
Now we had
Steal some shit.
very peaceful protesters, very peaceful, willing to talk, for the most part, except for that one incident, but willing to talk. I mean, we got a lot of things done during those protests, but right when the rioters started, when nightfall, I mean, it was like you couldn't get nothing in edgewise. It was just like a whole nother animal. It was two totally different. It was almost like seeing two totally different people,
Mm,
during the day and one during the night. It was crazy.
damn. Yeah, it was interesting to see that that breakdown in race from what people I guess thought they were fighting for. But I mean, there were videos of people, um, like, like black folks out protesting, and then a car full of white Antifa members rolls up, and I forgot what they did. They started doing something violent or
Mhm.
threatening violence or something like that, and everybody there, all the black protesters were like, "Get the fuck out of here!
Right,
Like y'all do
right.
not need to be here. We don't want you here." And I know it's hard for this not to sound like it's about race, right? But it's
But when it comes down to it, the black community was out there because they felt a certain type of way of how they were being treated. That's
do
why they
you
were there, you know.
so
And go ahead.
yeah, and my bad. My mind's going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh, you
I
good?
so I had Kevin Dixie.
No,
You ever heard of him?
no.
So Kevin Dixie is he's a good dude. You should check him out too. He's black dude, firearms dude. He's got decent following on online,
Right,
and I had him on. He's a big channel, so him coming on my little channel was like, okay, this is cool.
right.
I had him come on. We went through this whole like probably 2.5 hour stream, and I was like, "What are your thoughts on?" I gotta ask you these questions. What are your thoughts on critical race theory? What are your thoughts on BLM? What are your thoughts on these things? And he's just saying like basically like this shit's a joke. It's all a distraction. It's not. So I guess one of the things that comes to my mind that like I'd feel like remiss if I didn't ask you is, do you think that law enforcement is disproportionately killing African Americans that are unarmed in the streets?
No. I think
Okay.
I don't. Okay, so let me rephrase that. I don't think it's anything new that has not been going on in the past. I think there is a huge problem with law enforcement and the representation of the black community in law enforcement. And that alone is a huge problem.
So,
You know what I'm saying?
how do you mean?
Because you have these black communities that are being patrolled by white officers because there's just not anybody black in the police department. And
Okay.
so when you're talking about mixture of those two communities, or the black and white community, how a black person responds to something is different than how a white person would respond to something. So it's a miscommunication. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah.
the treatment from that white officer would be different or looked at differently from a black person than a white person, if you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think that is the biggest problem when it comes down to it. Even though that white officer would have treated another white person exactly the same, that's not how that black person would have been treated by a black officer.
I got you.
You get
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if because I know a lot of black people that are loud, obnoxious, they're rambunctious, and that's
Hmm.
how they express themselves. They don't mean anything by it. They're not being aggressive. From my point of view, they're not being aggressive. But a white
Hmm.
officer might think they are because they're not used to that atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I think that's where the first problem is when it comes to law enforcement and policing is that we need more representation in the black community.
Okay.
Um, um, Now, as
Mm.
far as you know, I've always felt that the black community does not get a fair deal when it comes to justice being served, and I've seen it in the courts and all that stuff. And that's just my opinion about it. I just really feel like it's not a fair shake when it comes down to it. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, the statistics show that black people aren't getting killed more than white people. It just doesn't happen. I
Yeah.
mean, when it comes to that, no. But I have seen where, especially working narcotics, where it might be the same case, same situation, and a white person gets less time than a black person, or something like that, and I do see that a lot. I think
Yeah.
that, but that also comes down to, it's not the justice system, it's the people running it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I would be remiss to say that there is no racism. We all know there is. You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
And
Yeah.
we all know there are racist cops. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that alone is a problem that doesn't even need mention. We all know that's there.
Yeah.
So you know,
I
but
think a lot of it is cultural differences
oh yeah,
between like like you said, like what um, like what a white officer would understand, like you said, approaching, someone they don't know or whatnot. And like I grew up in like a more urban community where I was kind of exposed a little bit more than like wherever most white people come from,
Right,
and
right.
I could see how like some things could be confused. Martin Kaminsky has an interesting question. He says, "Do you think that the inner city black community that they would rather deal with it themselves with vigilante action instead of getting cops involved?"
No, no.
Yeah, there's
They,
actually statistics showing the exact opposite. Interestingly enough,
the exact opposite of what?
of what he said,
Yeah.
that most most polls that and who knows, like if
The
this
black
shit's true
community
or
is
not.
very supportive of law enforcement.
Yeah,
They are very supportive of law enforcement. A lot of people don't understand that. The black community is a very supportive, and and it has. I don't think it has anything other to do with other than the fact that there are problems in communities that need to be fixed, and sometimes you need an outside person looking in to fix them.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's a good
I,
point.
I don't I don't think that the community now. I mean, if they did go to that, it would change very quickly.
Yeah.
Because with anything that you have, there's going to be some kind of corruption, and whatever kind of corruption comes with it is just not not a good thing.
Gurchop said, "Dark, this topic is not your strong suit. Stick to shilling P80s." Fuck off, Gurchop. So in regards to the time difference, are we not supposed to take someone's background? Hold on. Let me go back. So in regards to the time difference, are we not supposed to take someone's background into account, or the background the same in both cases? I think that may be a side conversation. Um, so okay, so talk to me about some of the crazy shit that you dealt with narcotics. Whatever you can talk about.
Oh man, I mean, I mean, I dealt with a lot of. You know what? My narcotics was more of. It wasn't dealing with like crazy stuff because I dealt with more of the high end money kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? It
Mhm.
wasn't. I didn't hardly deal in street level stuff.
Okay. So
Street
you
level
were
stuff
dealing
gets
with
you in
like
trouble. Yeah,
weight.
yeah. I dealt with kilos and stuff like that. I didn't deal with um if it was anything of a lower level, it gets you in kind of trouble because that low level is when they want you to try this. They want to see if you're going to do it and stuff.
Yeah.
Like so, I never put myself in a situation where
That's when you get robbed.
right,
That's yeah.
right, right. So I mean, it was I dealt with a lot of cartel members, a lot of verified cartel members, and you
Like
know,
situations where like when you do a drug deal, like you leave with the car. They give you the car because the dope that's in there is worth way more than the vehicle type shit.
right, right. Well, I didn't. No, I wasn't. I wasn't a mule. I wasn't a mule or anything like that. It was actually I knew what I had, and it was money being,
Yeah.
transferred back and forth.
What was the
Um,
biggest drug deal you've ever done?
the most I've ever bought in one deal. You mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Probably 2.5 kilos.
Damn.
Yeah, 2.5 keys.
2,500 grams, 2.2 times 2.5. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it was
All
about.
right.
I think we spent close to $70,000.
God
Yeah,
damn. 70K.
yeah,
Holy shit.
close to 70. It was like I think they were going. I think the keys were going at that time for like 27,000.
Damn.
Yeah.
The drug game has changed in the last 11
Well, if
years.
you buy one key at a time, it's usually around 32,000, somewhere around there. So
What?
yeah.
Damn.
hmm
Whatever happened to Memphis Tennessee? Damn, that's
No, it's not.
crazy.
I ain't never heard no 10,000 a key. Ain't never heard of that.
Yeah, no, that's
And
that's
but this, I
different.
mean, but this was coming straight from the border. Like this was coming straight from no cut, no anything. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Damn. Have you seen that shit where those dudes are in like man-made huts
hmm
cooking up the pace
Yep,
with gasoline
yep,
and with man, I
yeah.
and seeing it and being like an addict in recovery, and I'll tell you a situation. So I'm not too far away from Washington D.C. and Baltimore, right?
Okay. Oh, man,
And
hubs.
yeah, so
God,
that's like
wow.
like the spots.
You don't know how many times I've been up there.
Oh,
Shit.
really?
What?
That's
Hell
crazy.
yeah. Ohio, Arizona, New Mexico. Man, hell yeah.
Damn. So, have you ever heard of a place in DC called Potomac Gardens
Yeah.
Housing Project? So that was my spot. That was where I
Oh,
used to go almost every day. Yeah. So they actually literally started calling me light skinned because I was just like the only white dude that was out there.
right,
So they would
right.
actually all post up for a while before they got hit a couple times because there'd be vice there, there'd be housing police there,
Mhm.
there's only one way in, one way
One
out.
way out. Yep.
Yeah, so I'd go to Potomac Gardens, I'd go to Berry Farms, I'd go to Buzzard Point, but mostly it was Potomac Gardens housing projects, and they would be out front in the spot. If housing police was gone and, they got their lookouts in the towers, they would be out with ski masks on, literally shouting out what kind of dope they got. And you could walk up to the fence and be like, you know, "Let me get whatever," and it's like a farmer's market. It was
Right,
crazy.
right.
Then it kinda started, like, dying down where you gotta go inside, you gotta go in a stairwell, you gotta wait for somebody to walk in wearing a ski
Dangerous.
mask. Oh my god.
Yeah, man.
So one time, housing police was in there, and I didn't wanna get, like, inside the community and get, like, in trouble and all that. So I stayed on the other side of the street, which is super funny. It's, like, beautiful row houses with white people walking poodles, and
Mhm.
but they coexist. It's crazy. Um, and across the street, right at that intersection, I heard a dude shout out, "Man down, man down, man down," which is a kind of dope. And I was like, "Yo," I was like shouting him down, kind of walking down the street. And he turned around, looked at me, and kind of laughed and walked away. Because almost every time I bought dope, they said that I was the police. They were like, "Oh,
Mhm.
you're the police.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
definitely the police."
Oh, yeah.
And this was the one time where, like, I guess they think that if you say I'm not the police, that they're like, "Okay, okay, well, you're good,"
Right,
right? Like,
right.
that's not true, right?
Hell, no, it's not against the law to lie. I
Yeah,
used to lie my ass off.
yeah,
Hell, man, I tell 'em I lick booty and all that, and I mean, I don't care, whatever I can about that, I mean, really, when it comes down to it, it's not against the law to lie. So yeah,
yeah. That's what I figure, man. They're going off of movies and shit, because it's entrapment,
right,
if
yeah,
And, yeah, they don't know shit. But, I ended up walking down, and I followed him into the alley, which I never should have done,
mhm,
and he was like, "Alright, I got you, come here." And, I came back, and it was, like, the setup for I was like, "I'm gonna get robbed or get killed or
right,
something." And he walked back because in the city, handguns were illegal, and they usually don't carry them on them, they stash
right,
them.
right,
And, I follow him back to the dumpsters. There's, uh, 2 dumpsters side by side and then a third there, and we got a chain link fence around us, so, like, if anything happens, the only way out is behind my back.
right,
And I was watching him, I was watching his hands, and, he was like, I asked him for 6 bags for 40. And, I used to do this little trick where I would be like, "Let me get 6 for 40." And because a bundle was 10 was $100.
mhm,
And, I'd be like, "Let me get 6 for 40." Be like, "Alright." And then I'd be like, "Damn, this looks like some good shit. Can I get another 6 for 40?" And they're like, "Yeah, I got you." But if you ever ask for anything,
right,
they would
right,
never do
right,
it, right?
right,
But
right,
I don't know, they don't get it. But anyway, so, he said, "You gotta do a bag." And I was like, "Do a bag?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean? I got, like, my rig, my needle, my water, all that, it's in the car." Like, he said, "No, you're gonna snort the shit." And I looked, and his right hand was behind the dumpster, and I was like, "Oh, fuck, okay." He was like, "No, you're gonna snort this shit right now." I was like, "Bro, look at my arms. Like, I am not the fucking police. I
Right.
got crack marks all over me. Like, I'm not the fucking police." And he was like, "You're gonna do this shit right now." And he busted open a bag and he dumped it out on the fucking dirty ass dumpster and was like, "Snort that shit right now." And I was like, "Okay, well, it's either that or I'm probably going to get murdered."
Right.
And I literally, off a dirty ass dumpster, I will never forget the smell. And I like, I did it, and he ended up only giving me 5 for 40 because he said, "You already did one." I was like, "Dude, you forced me to do that at basically gunpoint." And
Right.
the craziest thing that I was impressed with was by the time I turned around and counted them and looked up and turned back around,
He gone.
gone.
Yep.
Literally disappeared. Like, I didn't hear the chain link fence rattle or anything, like, gone.
Yep.
I was just blown away.
Let me tell
And
you something that a lot of people don't realize too. Narcotics is probably one of the safest positions you can have in law enforcement.
mm,
Really, because
why you
you
say
think
that?
about it. Think about it. You walk up to a guy, they don't know you're the police. They might question in their mind. They have no idea if you're the police or not.
Yeah.
You walk up there with a badge on, they know you're the police. So if they want to hurt somebody, they know who to hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's true. You mean
So
this, like, UC work and stuff?
yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like one of the safest positions in law enforcement, man. Because nobody, I got that all the time.
If
You the
you're
police?
slick
Go
if you're
ahead.
slick and you can talk your way out of it,
Right.
you're golden.
Yeah, you gotta have that gift of gab, man. If you got that
Yeah.
gift of gab, man, yeah, like I saw one of the guys, man, we used to work with, man. He was one of the craziest, man, and literally got out of getting robbed 3 times by talking his way out of it, and then made the deal. They
Wow.
went there to rob him and made a deal.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
and it was. I
crazy.
mean, it's crazy how he talked his way out of those situations.
Some people
Right.
got that gift, man.
Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. Um, so have you ever had well, were you allowed to carry when you went into situations?
Oh, I wouldn't go without carrying. Heck yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I guess part of it is like, all right, if they pat you down and you got a gun on you, it's like,
You're
well,
supposed.
most
Yeah.
people, yeah, most people
Right.
got guns that are
Only
dealing
place I
with.
didn't carry is like if we would meet up at a bar or like a strip club. We did a lot of the deals went down in the strip club.
Mm,
A lot of them.
yeah, I
So I
can
mean,
see
I
that.
wouldn't carry there, but
Yeah.
if I was out in the streets or something like that, meet somebody somewhere like a lot of deals happen in Walmart parking lot. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
You know, places like that. I would carry.
Yeah. And you ever had people like pat you down and be like, "What the fuck? Like, why are you strapped?"
Nope, I didn't let them touch me.
Okay, there you go.
My thing, and I'm giving a lot of jewels out there when it comes down to it, but this is not. This is going to be something that's always going to be.
Well, the good thing is that
People,
like my people aren't like drug people. They're
right,
building guns and shit. They're,
right, 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 right.
this is
When
a
it comes
unique
down
scene
to
for
it,
us.
man, you pull out that money, boy, they forget about everything they were questioning.
Yeah.
I mean, you pull out a big old wad of cash, they're like, "Oh, okay, let's do this." You know what I'm saying? So like,
Yeah.
money talks. Sometimes you don't have to say nothing. Just pull out the money, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Most of them want to just do it and be out.
Right,
Like,
right. So when they start questioning me, man, I'll be like, one of my favorite things to do is like,
is
bro,
you the police?
they were like, "Are you the police?" And I pull out all my money. I'm like, bro, I ain't got nothing but daggone money on me, man. I ain't no daggone police, and I put it back in my pocket.
Yeah.
And they'll forget about everything because they saw all that money in my hands.
Damn. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Have you
Yep.
ever had any like crazy like shootings from a deal gone bad or?
No, man, I've never had to experience that, man. Thank God I've never had to experience that. I know there was one time where it was real sketchy for me because we figured we had a guy that I had been dealing with for a while. This is a guy that I was buying a lot of weight off of. And
Mhm.
and and crazy thing was he was a black guy. Um, but he was getting all his stuff from uh Hispanic guys.
Mm.
And I had been dealing with him for a while. And my informant told me that he knew I was the police. He just knew in his mind that I was the police. So I kept buying from them, and they made the situation where it wasn't as dangerous, which you know how it is. But
Mhm.
and after we went and picked him up, we asked him. We said, "Well, if you knew he was the police, why'd you keep on selling?" He was like, "I already caught. I need to make as much money as I could so I can have it on my books."
Damn. And for y'all out there that don't know what your books are, that is, your commissary in
Yeah,
jail.
yeah, right, right.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
he was saving up for his for his commissary.
Wow. He wanted to have all the dookie
Right,
rolls that he could. Have
right.
you seen the shit that people make in
God
jail? The
Almighty,
food?
man. I know, man. It's like going to a restaurant sometimes, man. I see that some of that shit.
It's crazy. Like,
Yeah, man.
one of the things, some of my friends, because like almost all of my friends are dead in jail or still using drugs.
Right,
And I don't want to associate with anyone that's still using.
right,
I'll talk to them and help them if they're serious about recovery, but I just had to kind of disconnect from everyone.
right. I got you.
And um, the friends that a lot of them are clean now, but they were in jail or incarcerated, and they did state time, fed time. When you're in jail, they're taking like, honey buns, and they're like flattening them and making like almost like a
Oh,
tortilla out of
tortilla.
it,
Yep. Oh
and
yeah.
then crunching up cereals,
Yep.
sprinkling it there, and then they take like a Twinkie in there and they throw like all this stuff. Then they put like ramen
Mhm.
noodles
Yeah, yeah. I know.
and
Yeah.
like roll the shit up in a trash bag and then put it on like a heater
Yep.
and let it. I'm like,
Like a
what?
burrito. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
Shit
like
is crazy.
a junk food burrito. It,
They will unhook a outlet and hook it up to their bed to make a hot plate.
what?
Yeah, man. It's crazy, man. It is crazy.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yep.
That is crazy. Damn, I never heard of that shit. I've heard of some people that have gone like ham in their like prepping,
Right.
and they go into they get a storage unit, put like a gun safe in there, like a workbench, and like ammo, like kind of like a backup like place that they could run to if they needed to,
Right.
and have like just some kit to throw on real quick. And they open up an outlet, they splice it, and then they bring electricity into their unit, and do whatever they need to do, go in
Right.
there, turn lights on, and run equipment. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, man.
that's crazy.
Crazy,
Sitting
man.
there with an air compressor, like cleaning their
Right.
guns, like,
Right.
like what? People, people in need and skill, like they say, necessity is the mother of all skill. That's like people can do anything. Like, I don't even want to know how they get these big ass iPhones in jail.
Right. I know. I don't either. I don't want to know that.
we we got a joke. I don't even know if I should go down this rabbit hole because YouTube will immediately hit this video. But
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do
some
it.
people, like to, put things in places that they shouldn't be,
Right.
for the purpose of transportation. And
Right.
there are a lot of stories of individuals putting firearms um, up there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So it's
I've
kind
had
of
that happen one
become.
time.
Are you serious?
Mhm. It was a
Like,
revolver.
okay, hold on one second. All right, so this has become like such a crazy inside joke with this channel that we've dubbed it PWEDC, which is prison wallet everyday carry. And we have patches made.
Oh my god.
And if you look in there, what kind of firearm is
We
that?
literally had to take him to the hospital to get an X-ray because he couldn't get it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold on, hold on.
Yep.
Tell me this wasn't the 6-inch 38 special that was empty. Because we actually read a report on like that exact.
It was a I can't remember. It was when I was working the road. I was a patrol officer. It was the beginning of my career around 2006-ish, and I didn't have to deal with him. He wasn't my prisoner,
Okay,
but I was on the squad that had to deal with him. So, I can't remember exactly what it was. I know it was a silver gun with a brown handle. I remember that, but I
okay.
can't remember if it was 6-inch or anything like that. But they were wondering how he got it up in there.
Yeah, I think this one was black with brown grips. Um, I'm pulling it up. I think this was Georgia. Never mind. But but um, this X-ray shows one of the weirdest foreign. But okay. Yeah, I think this one was Georgia, but so this patch was actually modeled off of this actual X-ray. Toxic Patch Co. Shout out to you, brother, for making these patches. He makes all of our stuff. I'll
I
do
need
a
to make my patches, man.
Oh man, the
Oh
best
wow.
company out there. So we're talking like a square butt, six
Yep.
inch revolver, 38. And here's the craziest thing, okay? It was empty,
Hmm.
okay, unloaded, and he had narcotics in the vehicle that were not hidden. So it's like, bro, you know you're going to jail. You know you're taking the ride, like, and it took them like a full day or two to find it.
Hmm.
And the fact that it was empty, the first thing I said was like, dude, you should have swung out that cylinder, loaded your meth bags
Right.
in all six
Right.
of them,
Right.
closed it shut. And if you're that committed to it, man,
Right.
but that's how it came up with
Wow.
this. And
I've been seeing that PWEDC, and I was like, "What does that mean?"
oh my god, that's too funny. The fact that, a lot of people, don't know, and I guess they should know, no one should know. It also, glows
Glows
in
in
the
the
dark.
dark. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Toxic Patch Co., I can connect you guys, man. Best company out there, best price. It's a nice PVC patch you can run on your gear, give some of your peoples.
Awesome. Yeah.
Um, the PWEDC shuffle. Um the butt of jokes, square butt. Yeah, that's good.
Here we
Butt
go.
gun. Oh yeah, it's gonna start. It's gonna get crazy. Meth hammer. Yeah, a meth hammer. That's basically what it would have been. Um, but wait, there's more. That's good. Houdini. Yeah. Oh, this is good. I'm sorry. I asked y'all earlier what questions you guys had, and then we've been talking the whole time.
Right. Right.
Um, Dark is going to demonstrate. Yes, indeed, I did. Prison wine. Yeah. You said you were on cert. Not cert inside prison. You're talking SWAT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Um, yeah, man. That's some crazy stuff, man. I gotta say, I respect what you do. I'm not one of the though I believe in freedom and independence and liberty. I'm not in any way anti law enforcement. I know there
Right.
are some folks that would say you can't say those things together, but I just
Right.
think that they're in my opinion their perception is skewed of what the role is
Of
truly
law
supposed
enforcement.
to be. Yeah,
Exactly. And see,
yeah.
the thing about it is a lot of people that say that has never had any of the things taken or
Mm,
has had anybody violate their their sense of safety or you know what I'm saying, being secure. You know what I'm saying? Like they've never had
yeah,
nobody do that. They never had
yeah.
nobody break into their house, steal their car, or rob them or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's also like the moment that I decided to carry a gun, it was like taking me back to moments where I had been a victim or helpless or
right,
uh, not prepared to defend myself.
right,
And I don't know if you haven't felt that. Uh, and then after the reflection that you have, the conversation you have with yourself, and I was just like, I will never put myself in a position like that again,
right,
and I'm gonna take my own personal, I guess, responsibility of my own personal protection. But
right,
I would never be, have any type of negative feeling if I had to call, the police for any reason.
right,
You
right,
know,
right.
one fart could end their life. Oh man. Well, dude, it's been good chatting with you, man. Getting to learn a lot more about your channel. If
Yeah, man.
if you guys haven't, go and sub to Diesel TV, man, and they can find you on YouTube and Instagram under Diesel TV, right?
Yep. Diesel TV on YouTube and Instagram. I have Facebook also. I just don't do much with it, but it's connected to my personal Facebook. So, and it's really not personal anymore because so many outsiders are on it now. So I don't really
Yeah,
post personal pictures or anything like that. But I
yeah.
am on Facebook as well.
Nice. Yeah, make sure you go sub to his channel. We want to. He said, "Don't call the police." I don't call 911. I call 1911. Uh,
No, that's right.
yeah. No, I call Glock. I would highly encourage you though to build something from an 80 percenter, man. It'll be a blast. And
I'll do it one day.
yeah, I can actually get you a deal on one.
Okay.
They go for like 150. I got a company and a code. I can get you one for like
I
69.
have enough parts laying around to build a Glock. All I need is a lower.
Oh, bro, you're solid. For
Yeah.
$69 shipped, you could get a frame from this company I
Oh,
work
really?
with. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, it's definitely worth it. What would you build? A 19, 17,
If I build a Glock, it would be a 19.
19? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
What color frame would you want?
Gray, wolf gray.
Okay, alright. I
Maybe
may
like a
be
wolf
able
gray.
to maybe I'll see what I can do. How about
Yeah, let me know.
that?
Hey,
Yeah.
heck yeah. Because I mean, if you do, I literally like this isn't an actual gun, but I have slides and all that kind of stuff just laying around from
Nice.
stuff that I've built. Like this is a 365 slide I've got because I've done some different things with my 365. So,
You
but I
know
have
they
all
have
kinds of slides and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. They have, so this company, JST Supply, I work with them a lot. They're awesome. Jordan Vinro owns it, and, get him a dark custom battle worn. Oh, that'd be dope. I've done a couple custom battle worn 80s for a giveaway that I did, and
Okay.
hopefully y'all out there that you've gotten them, hopefully you're happy with the paint jobs.
Right.
Like to think I'm pretty skilled in that realm, but yeah, I'll hook you up with the company, man. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Yeah, man,
Um,
that'd be awesome. Heck yeah. And then when I come back on, hopefully I have it done by then, and then I can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, you won't be able to wait. As soon as you get it, this is my biggest problem. As soon as I get something, I'm like, man, I'm gonna, do a video on it and I'm gonna show everyone. And I get home and I'm just like, zoom, zoom, zoom. I just start working on it right away.
Right.
And
But see,
not,
my problem is like I literally have I think I counted it the other day. I have 13 guns that I've bought that I haven't done a video on yet that I need to do. I still need to do a video on. I
yeah.
have a problem with buying guns. I buy guns all the time, and I'm recently I had to change closet. Had to build a bigger gun closet because I didn't have enough wall space to hang my guns on. So I
See,
had to build a bigger one.
that's what I want. See that like the only way I've been able to describe it in the past is like the way I envision like a SWAT armory
Yeah,
with like
that's where my motivation comes from. Yeah, how
okay,
my
yeah, yeah.
armory was. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, so that's exactly what I wanna do. I wanna do, like, I forgot the Gun Tech, there's, like, a bunch of companies that make the hangers on the wall for, like that are specifically made for firearms.
Right,
Then I wanna weld, like, a steel cage over it
right,
that has, like, the tight, like, almost kinda looks like chain link, right? But you
right.
can
Yep,
see
I get
through
what
it,
you're saying. Yep.
and you can, like, close and open that, and, like, you can literally walk into it and
Let me
walk
tell you
out.
what. Let me tell you a secret that a lot of people don't. If you watch my intro to my YouTube videos,
Mhm.
you can see my old gun closet. The old gun closet of my guns hanging on the wall.
Okay.
But I use gun magnets. They are the cleanest looking hangers for a wall that you can get. Now they're a little bit more expensive. They might be a little bit more expensive than the hangers that you're talking about,
Yeah.
but it's just a gun magnet. You stick your gun up there and it sticks to the wall, and it's like almost like free floating.
Nice.
And
There's
it just
nothing
looks way better than the hangers.
that's
I
what I
feel like
got
it does.
Yeah, that would definitely be clean. I got some of those big. I got one right here. It's probably like this big.
Yep.
It's got like two magnets on it.
Yep.
Two of them could probably hold up a long gun. You
Right.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I do for my long guns. I do two of them for my long guns.
Yeah. The
Yep.
reason I got them initially is from an old job where I was like at a desk for most of the day. I drilled one underneath into the desk, and I'll
Mhm.
put a Glock under
Yep.
there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. And then one day I had one of my associates come in, and she had like a young child, and I wasn't there. I was like, man, like their level, like, they could see
Right. They
stuff
can see
like
right up.
that.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
right.
So I'm, like,
Yeah.
sitting in front of it, covering it, and, it was safe, though. I was right there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, well, I don't wanna take too much of your time, dude, man. I appreciate you
Man, I'm
coming on
good, man.
so much.
No problem.
Let all the people know again where they can find you.
Like I said, man, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, Diesel TV. You can find me on there, man. Just hit me up. In my description, I have a texting number. You can text me and get up with me if you want to. I allow some people to call me, not everybody, some people. But like I said, if y'all want to get up with me, ask me a few questions, chop it up, you know what I'm saying? I'm here available. Just let me know, man.
Nice, man. That's awesome. That's a good I idea.
I'm sorry, I also have a
Mhm.
Patreon also. And
Okay.
on my Patreon, it has more in depth of, my story about what happened with the whole getting charged and all that stuff. I also have some high speed chase videos on there while I was
Wow.
working and stuff like that because I couldn't put them on YouTube. So I put them on Patreon, stuff like that. So y'all want to check that out, it's $5 for the Patreon for a regular member, $15, and the $15 gets you we do Zoom meetings every month
Nice.
for the $15. So yeah, man.
Nice. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Real quick, the end is near beware says dark, you seem to be looking lots better and seem you got your humor back. Yeah, for sure. So that's good. I've been listening tonight, feeling under the weather. The snow has me feeling a little better. Yeah, man, that's COVID knocked me out, man, for
Right,
a
right.
minute.
I got something going on. I got like a sinus infection or something like that going on up in here, man. So
Man, I hope it's not anything crazy because
no,
it's
I hope not.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Everyone's different. Like it
Right,
but that
right.
shit took me out for like a full 2 weeks.
I remember, man. I remember you. We were
Yeah.
supposed to get on. You said you had it, and I was like, "Golly, I hope he's all right."
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. But Diesel TV, thank you for coming on. Everybody, make sure you go out, show them some love, sub to them, and love to have you back on again after
You
you
know it.
build that 80%.
You know it.
And let's chat offline, and I'll hook you up with that company, JSD Supply. They'll definitely hook you up.
Okay, let's do it.
Cool. All right, brother. Thanks for
Y'all be
coming
good.
on, man.
Yep.
Take care. All right. Well, that was cool. That was a dope stream, man. That was interesting to have him on, kind of see a different perspective. And naturally, man, I appreciate all you guys coming in. And thank you, Bolo, sub to his channel. Thank you. And what's up, Shred Wizard? Appreciate you coming in. John Rice, what up? What up? I am still alive, and yeah, no, I know I'm still alive. I'm talking to y'all. But just want to thank all you guys for coming in. Obviously, at the end of every stream, I got to do my little speech, right? So, as I always say, rule number one is be kind. That is the cheapest thing you can do with the highest return on investment, and also live a life of care, compassion, contribution, contribute to others. The true measure of a man is when you contribute to others when you may not even be in the best spot, right? Bless others, you'll get blessed. And also make sure that good people like yourselves are continuing to become as skilled as you can in violence, because we all know that the only thing that can stop evil is good people skilled in violence. And be as safe and as dangerous as you possibly can. I appreciate all y'all. Love y'all. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the super chats. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.